Good evening, good evening, good evening. Well, topic day. I went out to eat tonight with my honey, my love of my life, Lon, my wife of almost 20 years. It'll be 19 this summer, July. I've known her for over 20 years. We went out, we did 70 miles in the topless, doorless Jeep in the wind and the heat, and we made it through it today on the Crazy Picker Life with Wheeler, Dealer, and Banana Peeler. It was interesting without the doors on. It was 95 degrees and sort of sunny, cloudy mixed up. The first 10 miles south, I was like, this is great. Wow. The wind is, not that bad. The Jeep, everything's blowing around inside it. And poor Lon over there is like plastered against the seat. She had the wind side, and boy, it's brutal, because as soon as we turned the corner to the east, I got it, and it was like, whoa, my leg, my arm are numb from 60-mile-an-hour battering of winds. I don't know how those guys and gals do it on those motorcycles. Obviously, they're suited up, but on the way back, we took a much more leisurely pace. We did a little off-roading and farmer fielding. Had some fun in the Jeep. 70 miles, top down, doors off, and we had a good dinner. So, welcome, fellow pickers and would-be adventurers. This is Dealer with the Friday night edition of the Crazy Picker Life. Definitely an adventure. Now, there is this place in Oakley, Kansas. It's right off I-70. Tonight, I don't know, maybe we've been spreading the news, but tonight it was packed. They only have seating for maybe 20, 25 people. It's a campground, and there's an eating establishment, I can't think of it, Colonial Inn, right off of the highway heading south off of I-70 going into Oakley. And then behind that's a campground, and the campground also has an eating establishment, and they have oddball food. They have good beers on tap. They have hors d'oeuvres like escargot snails in butter sauce. Yummy, yummy, yummy. If you haven't had it, I don't know, it's good. Every time we go there, we get that. If they're out of that, then we go to something a little bit more mainstream. I had the flounder and shrimp. Man, it was good. It was on a bed of buttered green beans. Not much into green beans, but these were good. I ate them all. There was nothing left on my plate, nothing left on Lon's plate. That never happens. That rarely happens. We like that place. So we went out, we had fun. I got all relaxed for a Friday night. I haven't done a lick of work since I packed all my orders all day. Had 15 plus orders, good orders. Sold that GPS unit that I listed last night on the show for $150 plus shipping. It went quick. That's cool. Picked up 5 boxes of vintage pens and pencils for $5, $1 a box. Hoping there's something good in there. If not, it's a $30, $40, $50, $60 lot. That was at a rummage sale. Picked up a Kaiser Jeep car emblem for 20 bucks. Banana peeler says listed at 40 or 50 plus shipping. It'll sell. Not too much out there picking. We will be going picking banana peeler and Wheeler. We'll be going very, very early tomorrow morning to Denver to the flea market. We're going to try the early show. Head out 4:30 a.m. from here. And with the hour change, we gain an hour. We'll still be there at 7 a.m. See if we can get the good deals. Supposedly that's when the early stuff is there. The good dealers. Okay, so topic night. I got to keep this reasonably trim. It's 10 p.m. If I'm going to get up at 4 a.m., I got to get some sleep. That's only 6 hours from now. Oh my gosh. So I wrote some notes. Mistakes. They either shape your business or they shut you down. Well, you know, here's the deal. If you are a seasoned entrepreneur, which some of you are out there, there's a reason you're seasoned. You've been through some battles. You've been through some business ideas. You've been through some ups and downs. You've made some mistakes. You must have had a few wins along the way, or you still wouldn't be at it, right? I mean, I got my arcade machine making lots of noise. If being an entrepreneur was all about getting beat up with no ups and no rewards and no excitement and no wins along the way, most of us, if not all of us, would drop out. We're not all gluttons for punishment, right? So if you're a seasoned entrepreneur, if you've made it, if you're making money, good money, if you're making a full-time income or more, you've been through battles, if not the war, right? So mistakes, they shape your business or they shut you down. A lot of people try 1, 2, 3 times. They try a couple times in a business of some sort, and they fail. They make some mistakes, and they don't realize that that is part of the process. I doubt there are any entrepreneurs out there that hit so well and so hard on their first time doing something that they never made a mistake or never had to lift themselves up or never had to step back and say, what am I doing? I don't think there's very many like that. If you want to do something worthwhile, read the biographies, autobiographies of some of your favorite or well-known or entrepreneurs that you have interest in. Read their biographies or autobiographies, and you'll find out they have a backstory. They have a backstory of challenges. They have a backstory of mistakes. They have a backstory of missed opportunities. They have a backstory of pros and cons in their business, struggle, you name it, right? Now, I imagine there are a few entrepreneurs out there, maybe second generation, that the first generation busted it and made all the mistakes, made a bunch of money, and on top of that, they had the foresight to get their kids involved enough where when the second generation came around, those kids were very, very seasoned, and their father, mother snowplowed enough where they didn't have quite the struggle. That's a possibility. That's a possibility. But I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs and high-level politicians, athletes, performers, entertainers, where the second generation doesn't get the attention from the first generation, their parents, and they either have the same struggles. They either make it or they don't, and they end up doing something, quote, regular and normal, right? Which would mean not entrepreneurial. They work for somebody, a job, right? A job, working for somebody, a job, that's pretty normal. I've had a lot of jobs. I should think about it a little bit, but I think, now I worked for my mother and the family business for about 10 years, and that was a lot of entrepreneurship because I was given a lot of latitude. It's hard for me to count that as working for somebody else, but if you take that out, I would say I've probably worked for myself and worked for somebody else about equal time. If you add in the family business, technically I was working for my mother as an employee, but you know, we were entrepreneurs together. Family business was an entrepreneurship. When I joined it, the sales were about $250,000 a year, established small business, and by the end of that, we were at 1.6 million, which is what, 6+ times. And so let's just pull that out. But a lot of people, I think there's probably a couple different people. I was interested in starting my own business probably from when I was 8 years old. And I thought about it a lot. 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, 15, 20. You know, I had a paper route. I was an independent contractor. I bought candy in bulk and sold it to kids in my neighborhood. I sold greeting cards through the school promotion. I sold magazines through the school promotion. I sent away for these containers and trapped and contained and sent in fireflies. I sold a lot of my stuff I wasn't using at rummage sales, our family rummage sales. I was a busboy. I detasseled corn. I worked in the factory, paint department, install department, space saver shelving, Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin. Did some carpentry. I did carpet cleaning. I worked third shift stocking shelves at Kohl's shoe department. I sold copy machines. I worked Schwann's frozen food. I was a safety engineer consultant. Had a company car. Went around and talked to a lot of small businesses, struggling and otherwise. Talked about their insurance coverage, workers' comp, safety, building inspection. I did an intern at a very large manufacturer of brakes and clutches. Worked out on the floor with the union guys. Got right in there. Walked into meetings where none of them wanted to say anything. The union sub-boss was there, and here I am, a greenhorn, walking in saying, hey, let's get more efficient. That went over really well. Wow, what a wake-up call. Tried to sell mail order businesses, different things. Tried network marketing businesses, succeeded in a network marketing product to people business. Sold the business, sold the product, earned trips, earned a company car. Oh, man. Interviewed at about 25 places that I didn't get a job at. Interviewed at a lot of engineering firms in a time period in the late 80s. Well, I was really interviewing in the early 90s when all the engineering, industrial engineering, manufacturing jobs were being shipped overseas. So I ended up being a picker. We moved out to Colby, Kansas here, and northwest Kansas. Had some eBay experience from other ventures before that, and ended up being a form of the American pickers. Buy and sell cameras, buy and sell watches, buy and sell signs, buy and sell beer, memorabilia, old electronics, anything else old, anything retail arbitrage, anything and everything. So, mistakes. They'll shape your business or shut you down. I wrote some notes. I want to talk about those for the next 20 minutes or so. Pick well, list often. If you want to make it in eBay, Amazon, online selling, some of you probably selling Etsy, Bonanza, I don't know, there's others. Local classifieds are actually a pretty good place to buy and sell. Somebody bought some furniture from us lately. They bought it from us for $20. Lon was like, oh, I'm never selling to them again. It's not our market. They bought this really cool little antique table. We changed, well, okay. In 1995, 22 years ago, my family business, bought a building downtown Janesville, Wisconsin, and we transformed parts of it into our offices, and in the basement bathroom was this little table. And for the next 10 years, that table was utilized in our business, our family business. Then it moved home with me. Then I changed, let's see, 1999. I changed at least 4 of our kids' dirty diaper butts on that table up until 2 years ago. We got our use out of that table. We got it for nothing, and we sold it for $20. We didn't have anything else to do with it. It's a neat little table. Somebody did some weird little painting on it, and they're trying to sell it right now for $145 on the local Next Tech Classifieds. I'm like, hey, way to go. My wife's like, I'm never selling to them again. We got rid of some stuff. I'm so glad about that. I get to bring my leather furniture home where I can enjoy it. Pick well, list off. 80% of your selling business needs to be one of two things. Sharpening. By the way, yes, this is the shirt I wore yesterday. Part of the picking business is I don't have to shave, and occasionally I don't change my clothes. Oh my gosh. My wife is like, you're wearing that shirt again. She didn't even say it like that. She just knows. Most of the time I change my clothes. I know I didn't. Check yesterday's video. I'm so sorry. You don't have to. You don't have to wear the monkey suit and the tie. Can you believe, I need to pull out some pictures. Can you believe for 13 months I wore a suit and tie. I had a couple different suits and ties, lots of different shirts every day. It didn't get me very far. I don't have them anymore. I got rid of it. I said I was done with it. So, pick well, list often. 80% of your time, 80% of your effort, 80% of your business needs to be honing your ability to pick up the right stuff and then turn it over. List it. However you get the word out. eBay, Amazon, local advertising, your own rummage sale, setting up at the flea market, Bonanza. Is Bonanza still around? Etsy, Facebook, Schmacebook, Schmike from Smurth, whatever. However you get that out. 80% of your effort needs to be right there. If you're not doing 80% of your effort picking, now let's go to the extremes. Some people pick, and they pick all kinds of crap, and they pile it up, and they never list. They never sell it. Or they just pick such crap that when they do list it, it doesn't sell. So it's not pick as much as you can, it's pick well. So pick well means buy stuff that sells. Pick well means look the stuff up and make sure you can sell it. Buy stuff you know sells. Buy the stuff you sold before. If you're new, tread lightly with lower cost stuff, but learn from your mistakes if you make some, which you should. Because if you don't, you'll have regrets. I like to shoot bam, 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 bam as much as I can. I buy a lot. And my mistakes usually are I bought something I shouldn't have, as opposed to my mistake was don't buy it, look it up later, and then have regrets. But if you're doing that, still learn and start buying the right stuff. Don't pass it by again. Fool me once, didn't buy it, went home, cry a river. Next time you see it, buy it, and then list it and sell it and make some money. I have passed on some things over the last 5 or so years, and I think I did it a couple times, but now it is rare that I will pass it. I will buy something with the idea that I won't make money on it, more so than I will leave it behind and then have to pull a 360 spin job and go back and it's gone, or just not. I won't do that. I'll buy it. I don't care. I don't lose money a lot, but this can be a business of little punches in the arm, like, oh, you paid too much. Oh, you didn't buy it. You went home and found out it was worth $1 million. Oh, you bought it. You didn't look at it. It's broken. You jackass. It ain't worth nothing. Throw it out. Quick. Get on to the next thing. It's that kind of business sometimes, right? But the mistakes of doing that is what will sharpen you. And pretty soon, when you go out, you will be a pick well ninja. That's what you need to be. Pick well. I don't know what the percentage is, but when I go to the flea market, from what I buy and what I leave behind, it's like 1 part per million. 1 part per 100,000. I buy one thing and I leave 99,999 behind. So pick well means find the best stuff. Don't find the stuff that you don't make any money on. Don't buy the stuff that you need to spend all day cleaning. Don't buy the stuff that you have no idea about that is obviously bad. Pick well. That's something that you have to make mistakes. You have to pick, and make some mistakes before you can pick well. So let's clarify that, right? I'm not sticking to my list very well. Now list often, right? Everybody has a backstock. Is there anybody out there that picks so little and lists so often that they don't have anything in backstock? Probably not. And if you do, you need to pick more because you're not picking enough. But if you're not listing, if you don't have somebody in your group that you work with, like I have, Wheeler lists a lot. Banana Peeler is starting to list a lot. I list enough. If Banana Peeler or Wheeler wasn't here, I'd list more. If I'm a single person in the business and I'm buying a bunch of stuff, I'm listing a bunch of stuff. Don't make that mistake. Don't think you can make money without listing. Listing equals selling. If you're not selling, you are not making money. Now we can talk all day about profit margin and buying stuff that makes you $1 as compared to making stuff that makes you $30, $40, $50. For me, the sweet spot where I want to be, I want to make $30 to $200 an item. That's the sweet spot. There are a lot of items you can buy and make $5, $10. A lot. Unlimited items that you can make $5 or $10. $5 or $10. $5 to $10. Unlimited items. You can exist there. You can actually make a living there, but you're on a treadmill. You need to get into the area where you're making $20, $30 an item or more. You're making a mistake by spending all your time down there in the $5 to $10 range. If you do not have enough cash flow to start buying the items, you know, if you buy an item for $20 and sell it for $60, after expenses you make maybe $25, that's a good start. But if you buy an item for $20, $30, $40 and you can sell it for $100, and after expenses you're making $50 plus, that's where you got to start to be. That's where you start to break free from the working hours equals dollars. Value yourself. Value your time. Start thinking a little differently. Start heading towards the bigger profit margins. If you don't, it's a mistake. If you feel you're worth $10 an hour, change that. You're not worth $10 an hour. Do it for a while at $10 an hour if that's what you need to do. But start telling yourself it's no different to be worth $20 per hour. I just need to pick well. I need to pick better. Never noticed this video game was so aggressive and loud. $20 an hour. I value myself now at $100 an hour. I've changed recently. I used to say $50. I'm changing that now to $100 an hour. I used to think, all right, I'm worth $50 an hour. Feels pretty good, $50 an hour. But hey, look, our times are changing. $50 isn't what it used to be. I went out with Lon tonight for a nice supper. Lon had a Blue Moon. I had 3 beers, nice tap beers, not, nice beers. We had an hors d'oeuvre, which was $8. We had a nice fish. I had a fish and shrimp, nice dinner. Bill was $60. I left $80. A nice dinner is $80. Plus we drove 70 miles. That's a $100 date. $100 date? I can't be worth $50 an hour. I need to be worth $100 an hour. So I'm going to start telling myself, dealer, you're worth $100 an hour. I'll start believing it. The mistake is to undervalue yourself. Don't undervalue yourself. There's deals out there. Pick well and then list it. List it often. Turn it over. That person that bought my $20 table was listening to my advice even before I gave it. They spent $20 on the table. They drove like 30, 40 miles to get here. They bought some of my other furniture. They bought it for $20. They threw some paint on it for an hour. They list it for $145. Somebody's going to give them $120. They just made $100. A little more than an hour's work, but if they average all the work they did on everything, it's probably an hour's work. They must value themselves at $100 an hour. I'm fine. I got rid of my table with the poopy butts on it. I changed probably 100 diapers on that table, probably 1,000 diapers. Oh my gosh, I'm glad I'm out of diapers. I'm glad I'm out of kids with diapers. I might not be out of diapers. I'm almost 50. I might be heading back in. It's a scary thought. Pick well. Pick well has a lot of depth to it, but if you're not picking enough, pick more. If you're picking the wrong stuff, pick less of that and pick more of the better stuff. Pick well, pick better stuff. If you're not going to places where there's good stuff, go somewhere else and start picking there. Pick well, list often. Get the stuff listed. Do not sit on profit. Ouch. Okay, so right along with the pick well, list often, if you're not spending 80% of your time on that, it's a focus problem. You have a focus problem. If you're not spending 80% of your time on picking the best stuff and listing it often, it's a focus problem. You're spending too much time on other activities. You're spending too much time on prep. What do I mean by prep? Spending too much time cleaning items. You're spending too much time taking pictures of items. You're spending too much time on researching items. You're spending too much time on testing the items. That stuff should take you 20% or less of your time, total time. Rules, regulations, taxes, procedures, licensing, bookkeeping, all that stuff, important. You have to set it up and run it. You have to do some of it. But 80% pick well, list often. All this other stuff, do not spend too much time on that. Do not worry about it too much. Focus on what makes you money. Without pick well, list often, you don't have a business worth crap. And the rules and all the regulations and all the taxes and all that stuff, however important they are, it won't matter. They used to say 0 times 0 is 0. No, anything times 0 is 0. That's better. So if you spend all this time on all this other stuff and you still got nothing to buy and nothing to sell, you still got zero. That's obviously an extreme case. Organization, cleaning, watching videos, all that stuff is important, but it still should be in the 20%. Now, if you're listing and watching YouTube videos, I think that's therapeutic. You can learn while you list. You can keep one eye on one and one ear on one screen and one eye on the other screen, right? I watch a lot of videos and listen to a lot of things while I'm listing. But make sure it doesn't bog you down. Researching, distractions. Researching should be, again, part of the 20%. Don't overanalyze picking. Don't overanalyze listing. Just pick well, list often. I'm like, shoot first, ask questions later. I've always been that way, and it does get you into some trouble, but if you pay attention, your mistakes will go down and your wins will go up. So if you survive it, you'll be okay. There were some gunfighters like that. Probably a lot of those gunfighters in the old West got gunned down. They're like, dealer, you told me to go out and shoot first, ask questions later. I got gunned down. And then there's one out of a couple hundred that's like, thanks for the advice. I gunned first and I learned how to shoot, and now I'm an outlaw. Well, be careful with shoot first, ask questions later, because you can get gunned down. Just, majoring in minor things. Do any of you worry? Do any of you get caught up like an email or a feedback or a return or a bad buying experience or, your snow cone melted? Listen, mistakes happen, bad stuff happens, little things happen all the time. In business, you got to grow a thick skin. Some of you thought Some of you thought I was gonna say you got to grow balls. I didn't say that. I said you got to grow a thick skin because trouble will happen, mistakes will happen, people will return things, people will be nasty. Yeah. Major in major things. Pick well, list often. That's major. That should be 80% of your time. Pick well, list often. Pick well, list often. But people like to major in minor things. And if you find yourself getting caught up in all these things that are non-essential to your business, non-income earning to your business, distractions, dramas, something's broken and you paid $5 for it and you were hoping to sell it for $60, but now it's broken so it sells for nothing. Listen, don't let it ruin your day. Throw the damn thing out and list the next thing. It happens. Do not major in that. That's a minor thing. That happens. Other mistakes. Attitude. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I've had a video or two on this. I've got to turn that thing off. If your attitude needs a positive attitude adjustment, I suggest you do it. This business is win-win. If you want to be long-term, you are win-win. You will treat people the way they want to be treated. You will not negotiate people to the bone. You will negotiate them a little bit, but then you will treat them as if you want to come back another day and negotiate again. Think long term. Think win-win. If you have an attitude problem, like you wake up in the morning and you're grumpy, or you feel grumpy, or you need your coffee to not be grumpy, or you find yourself grumpy, read Maxwell, John Maxwell, Attitude 101. That's a good jumping off point. It's a little teeny book, John Maxwell, Attitude 101. There's a lot of books out there, but attitude is key in this business because it will help you pick well and list often. Grumpy people do not pick well and do not list often. They talk about all the crappy picking out there. They talk about all the reasons they couldn't find stuff. They talk about all the places that did them wrong and why there wasn't nothing and why da-da-da-da-da did this and that and new. And as far as listing, my shoelace broke, my car broke, my computer broke, my fingers broke, my head's broke, da-da-da-da-da. I couldn't list today because I had a hangnail. I couldn't list today because the wind was blowing from the north. I couldn't list today because I couldn't wake up. Look, there are real reasons for not listing often, okay? There are things that come up. I'm not making light of certain things. But for most of us, and most of the time, a negative, non-focused attitude will not allow us to see the deals. They will not allow us to talk to people and get to the deals. A negative, non-focused attitude will allow us not to list and come up with excuses. Attitude. John Maxwell. Attitude 101. We'll get some attitude on this game. Too lazy to get up. Look at that Schlitz. I don't even like Schlitz beer. It's the funniest thing. I've had it, and now I'm endorsing Blatz Light. Much tastier. Schlitz? Maybe the original was better. Somebody is selling this huge... It's on eBay. You can look up at Schlitz. Schlitz, top to bottom, you'll see it. It's in the top 10 items. Huge mosaic tile thing from the Schlitz factory or a Schlitz factory. Man, it's like $10,000 or $12,000 pickup only. $8,000. I don't know. It's really cool though. Oh, not enough dollars. Not enough dollars. A mistake is to not have enough dollars. You cannot expand your business from scarcity. You need to figure out a way to tighten the belt. I hate to say borrow money. I hate to say get a second job. But whatever you need to do to have the money when the deal comes along. If the deal comes along, it's $1,000 deal, and you can sell it for another $1,000 on top of that, double your money. You have to have the money to do that deal. You have to make it happen. If you find the $1,000 deal and it costs you $1,200 to buy that, like you had to pay interest or something, and you knew because of your experience you would sell it for $2,000, you already had a buyer, whatever, that's $800. Pay off the original $1,000, pay off the $200, you just made $800. Now fees, whatever. But the point is, this buying and selling game, you will separate yourself with two things. Knowledge about what you're buying. You got to be in the right place at the right time. And you got to be able to pull the trigger, which means have the money. You can't be somebody that's looking on at an auction and they're going, 200, 200, 300, 300. I have 300, I have 350, I have 350, 350, going once, going twice, sold at 350. And you're looking at that and you know you can sell it for 1,000 and you didn't bid because you didn't bring the money. You can't be that person. You can't be that person. You spent the time, you went there, you recognized that this item that went for 350 could be flipped for $1,000. You did everything that you needed to do except bring the money. Don't be that person. I've been that person a couple times. Don't be that person. Last one, then I gotta go. Goals. Do you have any? What are goals? I need to do a goal video. I've threatened a goal video before. Do you have any goals? Do you have any written goals? Going from day to day to day to day to day, day to day to day to day to day, day to day to day to month to month to month to month to month to year to year to year to year to year. 5 years pass, no goals. Same old, right? You need to start writing some goals down. Now, here's a couple. For 30 days, and I'd appreciate it if you didn't work every day, because I understand you can't work every day. I take Sundays off. So, 30-day goal, take a day off during the week if you need to, but a 30-day goal, put it down on paper and look at it before you start every day. How many items am I going to list today? And for 30 days, hold yourself accountable. If you need to put down 3 items because you either are lazy or you're part-time, if you're full-time, you got to list more than 3 items a day. But anyway, whatever you have to put down, if you put down 3 items, 5 items, 10 items, if you're listing, things that are quicker, whatever. But for 30 days, write yourself a goal and do not let that day pass. Do not go to sleep. Push it when you need to. Whatever you need to do for 30 days, list that many items a day, and that will stretch yourself. That will push yourself. Everything else will seem easier. How about a 30-day goal to buy something every day? If you live in a market where you can go out every day, how about a 30-day goal to buy something every day that you know you're going to make money on? So you go out every day. You can take a day off during the week if you want. I like to take Sundays off. I don't work on Sundays. 30 days, go out every day and buy one thing, 2 things that you'll make money on. Look them up before you buy them. Go back to the car, sit there on your phone, stay in the store, rummage sale, flea market, walk away a little bit, look it up if you have to. But buy 1, 2, 5, 10 items a day, whatever you want to do. Don't go home till you do. And make sure, absolute, certain, sure, however long it takes, whatever it takes, that you will make money, good money. 2 times your money, 3 times your money, whatever your goal is, make it a goal. I will not go home until I find something. Boy, you'll start talking to people. You'll get desperate if you have to. Do it. So if listing is your problem, list, make a goal, 30 days in a row. If buying good items is your problem, make that a goal. You want to succeed, right? Come on. All right, that's my list. Well, I had a little bit different vision for this particular segment. I was going to talk about some of my mistakes that I made and how they apply and all that, but a lot of the mistakes that I made in business and in life, they're not directly applicable to the eBay business. I made a lot of mistakes in other parts of life and other parts of business, and I was able to carry some of that knowledge and expertise and just making mistakes and learning from it into my eBay business. When I came into the eBay business, really my only concern was finding good stuff. I knew that eBay and the marketplace existed. I knew the logistics of listing, technology, packing, customer service. I knew I could handle that. My only big thing was finding good stuff, and then, list well, pick often. List well, wait a minute, list well, pick often. Woo! Pick well, list often. My only thing was to stay disciplined enough to list all the stuff. I still have trouble with that. I can find good stuff all day long. The listing is still, listing often, it's still a challenge. It's the drier part of it for me. So, some of you out there have no problem listing and you have trouble picking, and some people have no trouble picking but have trouble listing. You all should get together. That's funny. That's funny. All right, I'm going to end this, get this uploaded. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was of some value to you. Certainly, it felt a little scattered to me. I hope there's a few tidbits in there. If so, leave me a comment. I like to hear from you. If I'm all wet and you want to throw me in a volcano, let me know that too. It's funny, I worked with a guy named John Bender who always said that. If you think I'm all wet, you want to throw me in a volcano. Man, it's kind of extreme, isn't it? I always thought that was kind of funny, but now that I do videos, I'm going to use it. Pick well, list often. I end every show with that. I think it's important. Tomorrow, I'm going to go spend some time with my boys, and hopefully we pick well. Dealer out. Thanks for watching.
Hey, Wheeler.
Dealer Production.